I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Damn Show on the Critical Blast podcast. I'm your host, Damascus Mintzmeyer. Our regular host, RJ Carter, is journeying to the center of the earth tonight and can't be here, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, I'll be interviewing returning author A.L. Garcia, whose new collection, My Split Tongue, comes out February 21st from Quill and Crow Publishing. For the next hour, we'll be talking poetry, gothic horror, the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, and what exactly makes the movie Desperado so damn sexy. Hi, Alma. It's nice to have you back as a guest.
How are you? Thank you so much.
I'm doing pretty well tonight. You actually were on a group show here in July.
Yes, Essence Crow Calls Volume 6.
Yes. To remind our viewers out there who may not have seen that show, why don't you reintroduce yourself by answering a question I always love to start my shows with, which is, who are you, what do you do, and why do you do it?
Okay, I am A.L. Garcia, or otherwise known as Alma Garcia, and or Alma and the Horde. That's where you can find me on socials, at Alma and the Horde, on most of them. I'm not on all of them. And I write poetry, and I do a little bit of marketing for Quill and Crow Publishing House. That's I write poetry and short fiction so far. I'm working on a few other things, but didn't come here to talk about that right now. And why do I do it? I think if I shut myself up a little bit, I might die a little. So that's basically it, probably.
I see. The need to communicate.
Yeah.
Very strong. I think it's a strong thing in all creatives, though. Like, I think there is a need we have to communicate, and sometimes this is the way we choose to do it, or if it's even really a choice. Like, it's just
I think writers and poets in particular are quite opinionated. So I think it's like it's like the creative side of being so opinionated. So I think I appreciate it for that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because in my own fiction, and even that's why I love writing reviews so much, because I am an opinionated person in that way. So I love writing reviews because I'm an opinionated little bitch, and I love to get in there and say if I like something or don't like it. How did you become associated with Quill and Crow Publishing? I was curious about that.
This was years ago. So I don't know if anyone knows this, but I met Cassandra, our founder, years ago on Twitter. The artist formerly known as Twitter. So I met her years ago, and we were writing poetry on there. So she was doing poetry, and Quill and Crow started with the Crow Calls. So we were both doing poetry, and she already had the Crow Calls going. And so I found them. I started using them to write some sorrowful shit, really tragic, tragedy-laced poetry. And yeah, we just became friends.
That's awesome. So, like dark, moody, broody, gothic-y sort of poetry. Is that what you were doing?
I always call mine sort of more emo poetry, and she's she's more the goth girl. So, but yeah, we clicked, and that's my soul sis. So that's why I'm there.
Yeah, I like both of you on. I follow both of you on the social media, and you both you interact and click so well together. Like, I can even tell, just as an observer, that you two are really get along really well. So you've done quite a bit. You've done quite a bit of editing for Quill and Crow. How many have you authored any solo books before My Split Tongue?
So I have. I had a recent collection titled "A Conjuring of Dandelions," which I had out with them as well, and a few and the poetry in the Crow Calls, and a few short stories in some anthologies.
Excellent. So, despite mainly being a poetry collection, My Split Tongue starts off with 3 very, very well executed horror prose stories. I really, really like these. I just love the intensity of your style and how you, almost like a stream of consciousness style. I really like that.
Thank you.
Walk us through.
I think it's kind of, I sort of feel like it's very poetic. So I think every time I write fiction or like longer works, it ends up kind of being a little bit poetic prose. I don't know if I want to get over that or I don't, but that's just the way it comes out. And so it is very much stream of consciousness as I go along, and then I go in and edit it. But I think that comes from being so poetry centered, maybe.
Yeah, I can tell. But I like that though. I really like that, it lends it a lot of force. Which is, in horror, you definitely need that sort of emotional, force to it.
I almost feel like I never say I'm writing horror. It always feels a little bit. It always feels a little bit seductive, a little bit folklorish.
Yeah.
And yeah, a little terrifying, I guess. I think I have a problem labeling myself a little bit. So I usually don't say that it's one specific thing.
Yeah, I get that. I always say that I'm like a horror writer, but a lot of my stuff, I have a lot of comedy elements in my work. I actually had a friend once review one of my books and say that I wasn't even a horror author, that I wrote violent comedy, which,
Oh, I like
you
that.
know,
That's cool.
after I think about it, it's actually kind of true because I do
mean,
have a lot
it's
of
weird because that's
communicating
not
comedy.
like you have to like choose a genre, and and so like that's not really a genre, and I get it, but
Hmm.
I don't. It's true that I don't really like to label myself too much.
Yeah. So, like, walk us through each one of those short stories and tell us the inspiration behind each of them were.
Oh, you didn't give me these questions ahead of time, so you have me
No.
struggling here a little bit. Let me see. So Mariangula, that started as a poem. So Mariangula is the first poem of the collection as well, and it's a short horror story. Well, like a folk horror story that I was told as a child,
Oh, that's cool.
and I wanted to remake it because I wanted to be the grandmother telling the story instead of the one I heard. And then what's the next one? Oh, Lula and the Girl with No Name is one that I wrote for Quill and Crow's literary magazine a while back, and I just sort of revamped it a little bit because I wanted it in a book. And so I threw it in there. It's like the least seductive of the collection, probably because of that. And then Fly Me to the Moon is, I guess I do have to label it erotic.
Yeah, a
And
little bit.
it comes from an obsession with The Fly, the movie The Fly
Yes,
with Seth Brundle. Yeah, so I kind of obsessed with that
that's such a
movie.
good movie, though.
Yes. And I don't know, it's just one day I the line a line came to me. It was he is fearless, reckless, apolitical, a fly on the fucking wall. And it just sprung from that.
I like it. That's like the repeating mantra throughout this story, actually, because the fly is the observer to everything that's going on. There's some
Mhm.
Frankenstein qualities to the story for people who haven't read it. There's some mad scientist qualities to it. But the fly on the wall,
The
that's
fly
the
on the
observer
fucking
to it.
wall. Yeah.
The fly on the fucking wall.
Yes.
The fly on the fucking wall. He's the observer to everything.
Yeah, there's a little bit of rage in it, and I had so much fun writing that. I really did.
Oh yeah, I could tell though. I could
Yeah.
tell. And
That's probably my
Lula,
favorite of the three. Yeah.
oh, that was a good one. I think Lula and the Girl with No Name was probably my favorite. I just, I don't know, just the way you had worded everything, and just originally it was a Wendigo, I think the original version that I read. But just the graphic sort of just I could feel the violence of it. I loved it. That was
That's a bit of a violent one. Yes, it has some. It kind of had a little bit Lord of the Flies element to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. So
Thank you. Thank
definitely,
you.
are you? Have you written a lot of like other prose stories? Like, because I know mainly you're a poet, but do you write a lot of other prose fiction?
So I think I do it kind of randomly. I'm working on a novel right now. So I've been working on for quite a while, and I'm like being very picky about it because I feel like I am just very picky in general. So I'll read through things again and be like, you know what, that doesn't even work. I'm going to scrap that whole thing, you know. And so
I know
I've
that
been
feeling.
struggling there, but I feel like if I have a good, like if I have a grasp on a character, I'll end up writing something. So I have in Eros and Thanatos, which is one of the anthologies. I have Lysandra, which is a demoness story, a sapphic demoness story, and I have Lolita in Ravens and Roses, which is another anthology by Quill and Crow, and that one is sort of the backstory of the novel, because Lolita is a weeping woman, and that's what the novel is about. And then I have Lucy, I think it's titled Lucy. I have an obsession with the L's. Lucy is a haunted doll story in
Oh,
haunted a crow showcase, which is another anthology as well.
dolls have something inherently creepy about them, where they can be used in horror very easily.
I love
and-
dolls. I have this background where I had a Puerto Rican like foster mother for a while, and she had all these porcelain dolls and all these plush toys, and so I got really obsessed with like dolls and plush toys, and I have a little bit of a thing like that.
Have you heard of that island? I think it's off of the coast of Mexico somewhere, the island of the dolls. You heard of that before?
No, I don't. I have not heard of that. No.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool. I'll look into it.
Yeah. There's apparently there was this guy who lived there, and he was the only guy who lived on this island. Okay, and the island is covered with thousands of these hanging plastic dolls that he had arranged while he lived there. And he claimed that the spirit of a girl while he lived there was like urging him to do this all the time. So and he was removed from the island. There's still, like, it's a tourist attraction now, but there's like thousands of these dolls just hanging all over this island from the trees and every nook and cranny. But if you Google that, it's actually quite the, I won't even say it's creepy. It's just interesting to look at, though.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely go there. That sounds gorgeous. And I love dolls because like I think they're gorgeous. I would talk to my dolls. I'd call them my ladies of grace. And so I love dolls, and they don't look, you know, like some people like them because they are creepy, but I don't feel like they're very creepy. I feel like they're just like gorgeous.
And you were talking about how long it takes to write a novel. Don't feel too bad about that. I've been working on the one my current work in progress. I've been hacking away at it for 4 years now. It feels like my own personal Stalingrad. It's like a war of attrition. Like I'm just like, I've got to win. Like it's just, and it's like you say, like I'll get like 3/4 of the way through it and go, you know what, this isn't working. Got to go back, fix it, rearrange stuff. It feels like I'm never going to get done.
What matters the most is for your philosophy or whatever you want to come through to actually come through in it. I think that there are some works that you can just put out there and get out there, and it just had to come out and it came to you so fast, and you can do that. And and sometimes they're amazing because of that. And then there's other stuff that, I don't know, maybe sometimes they're just so close to you. And I really feel like that way with this particular one. So sometimes you just guard it and guard it and guard it until you feel like you're ready. And so I think that's okay too. I'm not like too concerned about that.
Yeah, I kind of definitely get that, because my book has a lot of like personal stuff in it that it, like, you know, it's close. But let's see, what was my next thing here? Oh, now we're on to moving on to poetry. What inspired you? I could tell a lot of work went into this book, because it's a bilingual collection for people who don't know. It's in English the poetry is in English, and then there'll be Spanish translations of it, and then some poems are like a mix of both. What is
So
it that
there's a
inspired you
few
to create?
poems where there's the direct translation within the poem. So there's the line by line. And then there's a few poems, like quite a few of them, where it's just the complete translation. One side is English, one side is Spanish. And it's got a few languages in there because I did write about this in the introduction. I grew up speaking Spanish and Portuguese first. Then I learned English.
Cool.
Yeah, and actually, I was kind of exposed to Italian a little bit before English. Like, I was in ESL for 1 year, and I didn't want to speak English. I was so upset. I just didn't want to speak English as a little kid. I would fight my teachers, but that 1 year of ESL did me in. And then so it has a bit of Portuguese in it. It has it has some Latin.
French. I think I know it's French in one of them.
And it has one French one, yes, because I decided to be brave with it. And so but they are translated, and most of the lines, it's either a full translation or you'll see a line by line translation, or it'll be just a few words here and there that are then translated throughout the poem. So if you're not multilingual, you won't be lost,
Yeah, in my review, I stated that you don't want to skip, one or the other. Like if you're a Spanish reader, you don't want to skip the English ones. If you're an English, if you speak English first, you don't want to skip the Spanish translations because there's little pieces in each one that reflect upon the whole, which I thought was really, really cool. And which do you write in first? Like which language comes naturally? Like which ones do you write in first? I was curious about that.
So it just depends on the mood, I think. So sometimes I'll write something in Spanish first, and then I'll translate it. I can translate it into English. And sometimes I write in English first. I guess it just kind of depends on my mood and sort of what I'm exposed to. So when I'm exposed to more Spanish, like now that I'm in Puerto Rico, I feel like it just comes out more. Even though this is not my first bilingual collection, because like I said, it's been such a huge part of my life. Language has been such a huge part of my life for so long. And I was my mother's translator and I was a linguist. So it's just a part. It's just always there,
That's awesome.
I'll write in Spanish randomly, just because whatever thought came to me in Spanish, or whatever thought came to me in a different language, I'll just write in that language. Being online with the poets, most of it is in English. And so I feel like that really helped evolve the English side more too. So I'm thankful for that.
Is it, when you translate from one language to another, is it difficult to retain like the meaning? Because every language has its own nuances that can get lost in a translation. Is it difficult to retain the nuance and the meaning of each like verse as you translate it from one to the other?
So it's not for me. I feel like when you do direct translations, so like if you would put something into Google Translate, you would, the words wouldn't match right or wouldn't feel poetic or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
You have to translate it. But since it's been such a, like, I've been using these languages for for my whole life, basically. I just feel like it won't be it's not completely word for word. It's the meaning is what gets translated. And so my brain already works like that, where it's not translating necessarily word for word like a computer would. It's translating every line is translated with the meaning that it that it held originally. So
Yeah, because I've often wondered that because I love a lot of like foreign music and stuff like that, and I always like if I hear a song that's in German or French or whatever, and they'll rhyme, like the words will rhyme, and then like sometimes I'm like if it's translated into English, it may not get the meaning across. So that's actually really cool because you translate the meaning as opposed to the actual literal words, which I think is really, really interesting.
sometimes the literal translation is perfect and sometimes it's not. So it's like really just a matter of being very fluent in the language and just practicing your language a lot. I think when you
How many
have
lang
fluency, it just kind of comes to you. But
how
I
many
get that.
languages do
And
you
I did
actually
listen
speak?
to a lot of music. My learned languages, I do listen to a lot of music. So in French and Italian, I'll listen to a lot of music, and that really helps you with feeling because there's so much emotion in music. And so
Hmm.
you grab the lyrics that come with the emotion, and so that helps you a lot, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that because like if I listen to something and the singer's singing in another language, it doesn't even matter. I may not know what they're saying, but I can understand what they're feeling based on the music and the words and the emotion and the voice and everything. I definitely get that. The other thing I like about your poems is the way you move the words around the page, add these like deliberate pauses and emphasis to everything. Like it almost has like a spoken word aspect to it, even though you're just reading it, because like you'll be reading something and then there'll be a pause. It goes over there. You have to follow it with your eyes, and it has like a spoken word aspect, almost like you're reading it aloud to us, even though we're just reading it by ourselves. How did you develop that particular style?
So I feel like that's directly from observation. So it's just things that I've seen that have impacted me and that I like. And I think writing and poetry in that aspect is very much like you get very inspired by things that you see and you like. So I've seen poetry doing that, and I liked it. So I did my own version of it. And the I've done this before, but like a poem that will be about love will be like shaped into a heart or whatever, or like
Yeah.
different things like that.
Hmm.
So
I've seen
I
that.
do try to incorporate my own version of these things in the page, or like something will be bold or italicized to give it a different sort of effect. And I've just seen that and I liked it, so I kind of recreated it in my own.
Yeah, I like that. And there's recurring themes too. I've noticed there was time, love, loss, violence, revenge, passion, and a reverence for nature. I've noticed all those. What is it about those ideas that stimulate your imagination?
So while you were saying them, I was just like, oh, so just like my vibes, right? It's just my vibes. It's just vibes. I feel like I'm very often in nature. I will throw myself to the ocean when I feel even well as much as possible. Anytime I can go, I go throw myself into the ocean. I'll just swim and swim and swim, or I'll just float there. And that's a big part of my inspiration. I like to go into the jungle or into the or hiking or up into the mountains, and so that I feel like the nature side will always be there because of that. Just I think that's in all of us, but if you really do it a lot, it's just always with you. And then so revenge and I joke about this a little, but like, oh, I'm just full of rage and little bit, little bit true. I'm short. What can I say? There has nowhere to go. It's just there. And then the rest is just sort of, I don't know. It's what I like. I like the power of these sorts of themes. Like I feel like a lot of things that are in nature are very seducing to me. Like I just feel like it's so beautiful, and there's like a lot of different ways to interpret it, and a lot of my grief goes through it, and so all that stuff is just beautiful to me, and I do see the sensuality in a lot of it. So it came out like that in this collection. It comes out like that in a lot of stuff that I write. So I don't really think about it too much. It just happens.
Nature has a healing effect on you. I mean, that's like essentially.
Yes, yeah. I think, yeah, and I think on everyone, really.
I love the pictures you'll post on like in your story and Instagram and stuff of like the Puerto Rico and the jungle and the ocean and everything. I've seen those before. Just
there's so beautiful
place.
Gorgeous places here. Yeah, that I've not been to all of them. There's so much gorgeous nature here. Yeah.
But I remember once I think like black volcanic beaches. I think even.
Yes. The black beaches. Oh, they're so
beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
But yeah,
that sand is super hot, though. Like it'll burn your feet. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's nice.
And
they're nestled in the mountains. I love that.
Yeah, and the jungle. I love all the jungle pics you'll post on there. Just something different. I like that.
It's beautiful. I found everyone says don't go like exploring and like if you find a staircase, get away from it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a ghostly being, but it's been good. Nothing has happened to me so far.
All right. No way, cool. People watching. All right. I think my favorite.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Oh, I can't see the comments. Now I feel now I'm self-conscious.
Don't worry, I do that. Don't worry, I do that too. Island of Dolls. See? Yep.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yeah, Mexico City. Yes, that's right.
Stopping by.
All right. I think my favorite poem in there was actually Machine Gun Rose, which I love the connection between the movie Desperado. I'm a big Robert Rodriguez fan. I love the El Mariachi movies, and you captured the Desperado of the three like mariachi movies. Desperado definitely has the most sensual quality of the three, and you captured that really, really well. Again, there's some more revenge theme in there. There's like a passionate, sensual revenge theme in that poem, but it plays really, really well with your chosen themes. But I think that one was probably my favorite. I really liked that one.
That's lovely.
So,
I feel like it comes so naturally, the little bits of rage that I barely feel them sometimes. I felt like that one was to me, right? That one was so sweet, and it was there's always like an aspect of liberation there. I feel like I have a tendency to write about freeing myself in different ways. So maybe that's where
so there's like
from a little.
There's like some catharsis in there to it.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that with all again, kind of like there's something in that with all creativity. There's some catharsis to everything that we make.
I mean, yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but definitely I agree with that statement for myself. I'm always like a little bit obsessed with working through grief and working through like feeling like I need to be more free. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm a Sagittarius or if it's just my background or whatever, but I have this feeling of like there's always another level to freedom in your mind, and so I try to push myself there over and over again for God, for I don't know what reason. I just do it.
So speaking of where you come from, let's hop in the DeLorean and go back in time. Tell us about the early life of Alma Garcia. What journey did you take to get from where you were then to where you are now, and what led you to being a poet?
So I'm an immigrant. Immigrants, we get the job done. And so I had a really rough childhood. My dad was terrible, and so that really is what got me into poetry. A lot of it was just letting out a lot of feelings that I couldn't let out. So because I literally couldn't speak, like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. So I feel like I started writing because of that. And yeah, I just kept doing it after that. And I feel like that's partially where the liberation aspect comes from. There's so much to free yourself from. There's like grief to free yourself from. There's trauma to free yourself from. There's experiences that you don't really want them to shape you. You want your resistance to them to be what is shaping you. And I feel my interest in like sort of transgressive and philosophical books got me into that mindset. And I feel like that's where my poetry sort of stems from the most. So that is why.
Excellent. Well, personally, I think you're one hell of a strong person. I think that comes through in all your work also. So that definitely comes through.
Okay. All right.
And what specific authors had an impact on you growing up?
So I had a little book of Poe, of his short stories, that I carried around like a little Bible. So definitely Poe. I got obsessed with Wuthering Heights for a while. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Pablo Neruda. So just to name a few, but a lot, because I was a bookworm, like I always feel like books were really just my escape from a lot of things. And so it's an activity that you can do that no one bothers you, everyone thinks you're being like perfect, you don't have to explain yourself so much. And the books are free at the library, so I could go to the library and check out books. And there's quiet, and then when I would read, I would just be like completely in the world of the book and out of my world. So I just feel like I read it. I read so much, as like I still read quite a bit, but nowhere near close to how I was reading when I was younger and going through stuff. So I would just literally be nose in a book nonstop,
Totally get that. I was the same way.
And so I feel like I almost can't say like one particular author or one particular thing. It was just like, classics, all the, like a bunch of classics, and then transgressive stuff and sci-fi, and I oddly enough, the Goosebumps books were like why like child horror. So yeah, I went into those as well. And just a lot of mythology. Then I got into like obsessive with philosophy for a while. And so it's just a lot of genres that I just kept reading. So I think I can't really pinpoint one genre or one author. I did carry around One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for, well, I still carry it around. I carried around like a good luck charm. So that's, I don't know. I just think it's like all of them put together were just always inspiring to me. I didn't necessarily think of becoming a writer. That wasn't really a goal of mine. I just had to write the poems that I was writing because, they were so intense that I had to let them out. So I kind of still operate a little bit like that, where I'm not really writing for any particular purpose. It's just like, it just had to come out,
I definitely understand that. I also understand about the escapism aspect of reading. I would do that when I was younger too. It was the immersive quality of it, where I could just get lost in another world.
Yeah.
And perhaps we were talking earlier about like you can't really pin yourself down to a label in one genre or the other. Probably, I would imagine that stems from your wide, voracious reading of all genres. Sort of a
I had a little Matilda thing going on. Definitely. So I just like to read and read and read and read, and just I still like reading all genres. I'm still not a fan of like sticking to one genre. So,
definitely.
I'm happy. I love that. I love the indie community. I didn't discover it till 2020, like mid 2020, August 2020 is when I think I joined y'all. And so it's been quite a few years of discovering the indie community, which is something that I was sort of missing out on. And I'm so grateful. I've found so many books that I like seriously obsess over. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. How have I not read this? So
and really cool
I fangirl
people
a
too.
lot, I think.
And a lot of really, really cool people in the indie community also. I love all the people I've met in the indie writing community. Just a lot of really awesome people. And
yeah, everyone has been pretty cool. So well, if you're not cool, you'll know, because I don't keep my mouth shut about anything.
But no bigots, no
major issues.
Yeah. Let me see. So I mentioned the spoken word aspect to the spoken word quality in My Split Tongue. To that effect, would you like to read a couple of your compositions for us?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I was just gonna do Mariangula unless you have a request.
No, anything you choose.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with that one, which is the first one. And here goes. This is the English version. There's a shallow grave behind a cornfield just over yonder, a hole dug in the soil by nimble claws ripe with wounds and hushed incantations. Mariangula, Mariangula, vowed at the tender age of 20. There's a cadaver buried under a tombstone of wildflowers with daisies in its eye sockets, a dagger in its hollowed out womb, and the nectar of peony buds where there used to be a tongue. Mi lengua, my tongue, just over yonder, there's a paranormal force, a ghost resurrected by its desecration. Mariangula, Mariangula, devuélveme mi lengua, give me back my tongue. Ni puta, ni pura, ni tuya, you're not whore, nor yours, nor pure. Mia, mia, todavía, mine, mine, still mine. There's a cemetery in my backyard beneath fruiting vines and yerba buena, sweet mint, a crucifix composting in the garden with memories of Eden, of expulsion carved into its pulpy, putrid, proud paper flesh wood carcass of Pinocchian nature. I want to be a real boy, it says. Weeds don't die, they seed. That's what my mother used to say to me before dying. There's a man inside a whale, a woman inside a clamshell, just over yonder. Devuélveme mi lengua, give me back my tongue, Mariangula. Ni puta, ni pura, ni tuya, not whore, nor pure, nor yours. Poem.
Okay.
And so that's the English version.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
then I'm going to do the Spanish version because that one is
Yes.
directly translated into Spanish. Okay, here goes. Okay, Mariangula, devuélveme mi lengua. Hay una tumba poco profunda detrás de un campo de maíz, un poco más allá de aquí, un agujero excavado en el suelo por ágiles garras, repleto de heridas y hechizos susurrados. Mariangula, Mariangula, prometida a la tierna edad de 20 años. Hay un cadáver enterrado bajo una lápida de flores silvestres, con margaritas en las cuencas de sus ojos, una daga en el hueco de su vientre y el néctar de capullitos de peonía, donde solía estar la lengua, mi lengua, my tongue. Un poco más allá de aquí, un poco más allá, existe una fuerza sobrenatural, un fantasma resucitado por su profanación. Mariangula, Mariangula, devuélveme mi lengua. Give me back my tongue. Ni puta, ni pura, ni tuya. Mía, mía, mía todavía. Hay un campo santo en mi patio, bajo enredaderas fructíferas y hierbabuena, un crucifijo haciéndose abono en el jardín con recuerdos del Edén, de la expulsión tallado en su carne de papel, pulposa, podrida y orgullosa, cadáver de madera y alma de Pinocho. Quiero ser un niño de verdad, dice. La mala hierba no muere, se crece. Eso decía mi madre antes de morir. Hay un hombre dentro de una ballena, una mujer dentro de una concha, un poco más allá de aquí, un poco más allá. Devuélveme mi lengua, give me back my tongue, Mariangula. Ni puta, ni pura, ni tuya. Poem.
That was beautiful. I love
Thank
the
you.
sound of those, both of those.
Thank you.
Those are fantastic. So that's a very good representation of the spoken word quality in the book. All right, so now we're almost done. My favorite part of the show is actually this. It is what I call the lightning round of nerd questions. This is the free association part where I just I ask a question, and whatever the first thing that pops into your mind, just go with it. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, all-time favorite movie.
I'm terrible at favorites. Hold on. I'm the worst person to say, what's your favorite, this, favorite, that? Oh my God. Though I'm going to go with The Fly because, yeah, I can't think.
All right. that may actually also answer the question, the next question, which is all-time favorite horror movie.
Oh, there's a new one that came out in 2021, I think. It's called, it's a La Llorona retelling, and I'm gonna go with that one.
Ooh. Oh, cool. Okay, favorite guilty pleasure movie. You know, the one that's not very good, but that you love anyway.
I'm gonna be horrible with these because I feel like I'm not that type of I'm critical in different ways, because if I liked something, I don't really see it like, oh, that's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying to really think about that, but I can't really do that one so well. Don't know what to say.
Yeah. I'll go to the next one then. What are some of your favorite musical performers?
Musical performance?
Yeah, musical performers, like bands or musicians or whatever.
That I've seen in person or just in general?
No, just in general.
Probably Freddie Mercury with Queen,
Cool.
Radio Gaga.
Oh, cool. Okay. What was the name of your first pet?
My first pet?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing my password questions here.
No, don't answer
But
it.
no,
Don't answer it.
I've written about this a lot of time. Dante. I named him after Dante Alighieri.
Oh, cool. That's excellent.
Yeah.
First celebrity crush.
First celebrity crush? Oh God, Tom Cruise, probably. Tom Cruise.
Oh, cool. Okay. A biopic is made about the life of Alma Garcia. What's the name of the movie and who plays you?
Oh God, you're killing me with these. I can't think of that. First of all, don't make a biopic ever. That's not anything anyone wants to see. What's the name of the movie you said? Drag Me to Hell, probably. Just no, I don't. I can't answer that. I can't answer that either.
I love that.
Now,
okay.
who plays me? Nobody. I hope not. No, I can't. I can't do that. No, I can't do that one.
Okay. Okay. Favorite vacation spot.
Favorite vacation. I don't like the idea of like. I like the idea of like you're just exploring the world, and I don't like the idea of like, oh, I'm on vacation. So there goes my problematic self.
No, it's not problematic at all.
I'm not gonna go with anything. I'm gonna say what's I can tell you one of my favorite beaches, and like it's like a golden sand beach that has the black sand beaches here. It's called Il Guano. Stuff like that. But I don't really like doing like I don't even whenever I go anywhere, I don't feel like saying like, oh, I'm on vacation. I'm just like I'm exploring,
It's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah.
Okay. You meet your 13-year-old self. What advice do you give the younger you?
The younger me would. That's sad. What advice? I think I would give her the same advice that a poem gave her a long time ago, probably around that age. And it was just the last lines of Robert Frost's "And miles to go before I sleep." And I think that would get us through.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for A.L. Garcia?
I'm gonna mess you up there too, because I don't really do that. I don't know. I feel like oddly like just live just every day. You make your choices every day, and so I feel every choice you make it creates the next step. So every day you have choices to make that creates your next step and that create your future. So I don't really ever say, oh, what's next for me? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I just make my choices every day.
That's awesome. Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to the team at Quill and Crow. Shout out to the team at Quill and Crow always. I love you guys. Y'all are the best. And don't know, all the poets, I guess. I love y'all. Thank you for inspiring me always. And yeah, that's it.
Right. You want to repeat where people can find you online?
Oh yeah. So Alma and the Horde, HORDE. That's it. Just only come looking for me if you really want the vibes. Otherwise, don't come looking for me.
The vibes are real, though. I mean, almost a very real. That's one thing that I really like about her. Like, you're such a real person. Like, there's like no bullshit there. Like that.
I try to just be myself. I mean, there's like no one else to be. So
definitely,
you know that line. There's no one else to be. So to be yourself.
Right. Right. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest tonight. It was really, really super fun talking to you, and we look forward to having you on the show when your next project comes out, whatever that may be. And don't forget, everyone, to head over to Amazon, or I think you can also get My Split Tongue on Quill and Crow website.
It's thecrowshop.com. QuillandCrowPublishingHouse.com is our official site, but thecrowshop.com is the shopping side. So it's up on there. Available for pre-order. It comes out on February 21st. I'm sorry. When it comes to like, it's also kind of late, but like whenever it comes to telling you go get my stuff, I'm not that good at that. Me particularly for myself. I love marketing for everyone else.
I have that problem too. I'm really good at pumping up everyone else's stuff. When it comes to my stuff, I'm never good at doing that.
It just feels very chill. It just feels very relaxed. I'm very happy with the collection, and I really do hope anyone that decides to check it out enjoys it. So thank you so much for your support. Here's my millennial heart for you.
So check it out. Amazon, Quill and Crow shop. It's called My Split Tongue. The Crow Shop. Okay. It's called My Split Tongue. And remember, if you enjoyed the show, remember, like, share, subscribe to Critical Blast on YouTube. The damn show is done.
Thank you. Bye.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends, catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe.